Books and Dumpster Fires, number 4. Logan,
Yep.
how are you?
Doing all right. Doing all right. Sorry, pushed it back another week, so that way you could read like 3 or 4 more books between last week and this week to space it.
I honestly don't remember when we read this. I think it was June or July.
That's probably right. Oh, it's not on my board anymore. It's blank.
I think it was either late June or early July.
Yeah, I think that's right. And we pushed it back from April, I think.
Yes.
Or something.
Yes.
And I definitely read it when we were supposed to. Not in April, like June or July, though.
I think you read it before me.
Yeah.
Or did we both? No, because we were emailing each other too.
Yeah. No, that's about right. But you said it's a while ago. July is just a month ago.
It feels like a long time ago.
Yeah, maybe that's true. But I've had this book for a while, and I never read it.
Yeah. So, did you send me this?
Yeah.
Because I couldn't. I wasn't for sure because there's a dust jacket.
That's why I sent you that one and not this one. Yeah, no, I did send it. I sent in that one box of books that I sent you. I still have my box of Johnstones that I haven't sent you yet. You'll get the first box and it'll say 1 of 7, and so you have 6 more coming.
There is a Johnstone, and it almost looks like a double, like it's 2 books in one. That's at my library. And I went there and picked up some other books, and I saw it.
Yeah.
And there is and some of my subscribers have told me, like, there's a certain series that they think I would enjoy, like the Mustang Man series or something by John Mountain Man. Yes, that's it.
The Last Mountain Man.
Yeah. And
there's like the first Mountain Man, the last Mountain Man. I don't know which one they're talking about, but yeah, one of those.
Yeah. I think that Johnstone up there is one of those, but I haven't picked it up yet.
Yeah. He's got some now, assuming we're talking about the ones that are written by William Johnstone. He's got definitely the Western style, kind of like the frontiersman style.
Yeah.
And then he's got like this, I forget, it's the Ash. I call it the Ashes series, but all the covers are a guy with a machine gun. So it's not Western and it's not frontiersman. I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
And then he's got, and then I think written with J.A. Johnstone, whoever that is. I originally thought it was his niece, but then you convinced me that it might also be like a whole bunch of different writers under the same name. So
yeah.
But there's a couple of new ones that are like recent, like political takeover type books.
Okay. So. Yeah, I'm gonna have to maybe check that or pick that one up. I'm a little gun shy when it comes to Johnstone after Have Brides Will Travel.
That's fun, by the way. A little gun shy. Yeah, I still haven't read that one yet. I said I was going to, and I still plan on it, but I have not read it yet.
So before this completely becomes the dumpster fire that it will be, why don't we dive in and talk about Toxin by Robin Cook?
All right.
So
do I need to join the chat, by the way? Do I have to join it to type in there?
I don't think so.
Oh, I have to connect to my YouTube account to do that. Okay, never mind.
Well, I'm going to save you the trouble of having to recall this because I took some notes.
Thank you.
And so the summary of this book is it follows the main protagonist, Dr. Kim Regis. He is a cardiac surgeon who is going through a bunch of different life things. He's recently divorced. The hospital that he works for is being overtaken by a different kind of administration. And then his daughter dies suddenly after eating a hamburger that's been contaminated with E. coli at a fast food chain restaurant. So he basically becomes devastated and deals with the trauma by basically trying to go after and investigate how this happened, kind of finding root cause. And as he gets further in his investigation, he starts uncovering the truths about, a lot of different themes. I know you love themes here, but there's a bunch that is actually prevalent with the story. Where your food comes from, the USDA, how things are inspected, corporate greed, cover-ups, poor government oversight, the food industry's influence. There's just a ton of different ones. And it's all kind of interwoven in a tale of how this dad kind of digs at the core of why something happened and deals with his grief in that kind of a way. And I guess I would ask you, it's almost a thriller kind of expose. I mean, it's almost like an expose in a way, but it has kind of different plot threads that are woven through it all. And that's a summary. In my estimation.
No, I think that's a good summary. There's so many things you mentioned that need more explaining, but we can kind of take those piece by piece, because it's not like any restaurant that he's going after.
Yeah,
there's a tie to it, and it's also it's not just like random ground beef that was contaminated. There's a specific reason in the prologue or whatever. I think there's a prologue, right?
Yeah, it
our
is.
Introduction before chapter 1. That's like why this is the case. But there's also like he's not like a regular doctor either. He is absolutely unhinged. He is nuts. But yeah, I think that's a really good description of kind of the general gist of it. You're right, though. It's hard to call it a thriller, because maybe the only thrilling part of it was the murder for hire part. Maybe the rest of it's more just like an investigation into cover up and corruption.
Yeah,
that's what I think.
So the prologue. So there's a lot of fail points here on how we go from basically a girl dying from eating a hamburger and why. And so we have, at the very beginning of the story, you have these two guys that go around dealing with cattle that are dying or diseased or lame, and basically they deal with basically taking their lives, disposing of them, and so they try to make a quick buck. Well, by selling off, it's just now dead, or it's just now lame, and let's go ahead and sell it to this meat packing, place. They'll take it, and so then you have the meat packing place that does something it knows it shouldn't do, and taking something like this, and there's just so many failing points. Then you have how they process things and the cross contamination. Then you have the actual chain that Dr. Kim takes his daughter to when he has his daughter, and it's this chain that also is being oversold, or an investor. It ends up being Tracy's boyfriend at the time.
Yeah.
And so there's all these interwoven kind of characters and plot details, but there's all these different failing points. The guy doesn't cook the thing right because it's kind of sitting on another one, and they didn't take the right frozen patties. Just all these things just happen that ends up being she gets this disease that kills her.
Yeah.
And so
the worst kind of E. coli.
Yeah. So I mean, it's just like a domino effect, almost to the point where it's like that is one magic loogie kind of thing.
No, you're right. But part of me thinks the exact way. Like I'm a stickler for these things that just like happen to be so, opportunistic and happen to be so coincidental.
Yeah.
But at the same time, when you find a problem like that, you trace it back. The error chain. There you go. You trace it back. A lot of them will probably look like this.
Yeah.
Like this little thing happened. It's kind of the perfect alignment of a whole lot of things to then lead to whatever it is. But but Brian's first comment about the selling sick cattle for cash. What was the line in there? Is something like, well, at least this one can stand up on its own, or something along those lines.
Yeah.
And like they'll probably take him because it looks like it's a normal cow.
Yeah.
Even though it's not. But yeah, that's exactly right. Again, incentive, right? You have people they take it to the one that pays more, I think. And so they drive out there to take it to that one or something along those lines.
Mm-hmm.
And so that just happens to be the one that then supplies the food chain, the restaurant chain, that kind of stuff. But yeah, it is kind of, again, so that E. coli is the worst E. coli of all the different E. colis it could have been. It's also worse in two vulnerable populations, which are kids and elderly, and then weakened immune systems. And so again, it's kind of another, right? Because he didn't get that hamburger; it was the daughter, that kind of thing.
Yeah, he got a salad.
Yeah,
I remember that. I would, that was really interesting, and I have
probably
to
why he was so cranky. He's protein deficient the entire time.
I have to think there was a point. Don't you think that though? Cook wrote that to make a point.
Yeah.
To do a compare and contrast.
Probably, yeah. I mean, he does that a lot. He does the compare contrast a lot. And when we get to the corruption part, he does it there too.
Yeah.
I mean, this again, this one was one of Cook's more ridiculous books. I thought it was. He writes a whole lot of ridiculous books. Don't get me wrong. I like Robin Cook books a lot. I still like Toxin, but this one is kind of ridiculous in some ways too. But
yeah,
I won't digress too quick.
That's fine.
Because this, let's see, what year is this? You remember? Is it
1998? I think
98. Okay. Yeah. Which it's, I mean, the seriousness of the E. coli H137 or whatever it is still serious.
Yeah.
So, he's accurate with the seriousness. I want you to talk about your thoughts on Dr. Kim Regis, his personality, everything like that.
Well, first and foremost, he's kind of a prick at first.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah.
Yeah, kind of a little bit of an entitlement. Obviously, he's very cold and he's not a kind of present father, and probably led to some of the things that are happening with this personal situation in the story.
Yeah.
And then he's very, the entitlement comes from a lot of the hospital change stuff that he's complaining about.
Yeah.
And then hot under the collar temper. I mean, he flew off the handle about every little thing, especially when she got really sick and they meet up and take her to the ER, and he throws a fit, and then they do it again, and they're trying to avoid him throwing a fit in the ER. Yeah. And then he's calling his, peers and people that he knows, trying to get advice, and yeah. I mean, the craziest scene, what it's going to be. It's going to be him and having to cut her open. Like, that was crazy.
He diagnoses her in the middle. So he runs in, and while they're doing essentially the procedure on her, and he's like, I know what she needs, because he's a cardiac surgeon. He's like, I know what she needs. It's her heart, and we need to break in there and look at the heart. And so he goes in, and sure enough, the heart he sees is basically just eaten up by the E. coli.
Yeah.
And I think he pulls out pieces of her heart, like the necrotic tissue of her heart or something like that.
Yeah. Well, because they were doing compressions and they weren't getting any change on her rhythm, and
he knew that there was no pressure, there was nothing that was being produced, and so he knew something with the heart was wrong.
Right. He cut her open to do massage, I believe. It was, and then when he felt it, he's like, it's not heart muscle. It's been completely decayed. Like it's no longer there.
Yeah.
Which is just crazy. It is, that I will give Cook credit on, was an epic part of the book.
It was, especially if you were in that situation and the person who's not on the team, who's working on the child, busts in the father and then starts performing open heart surgery on her.
Yeah.
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 But it was definitely a scene. That's for sure.
Yeah. So Brian, E. coli is everywhere. Each and every one of us is swarming with it. It's only dangerous when it picks up some piece of foreign DNA and transforms it, which is rare in a grain scheme. Brian is like, hey, I'm still going to eat my hamburgers.
Odds are you'll be fine.
So let me ask you this before
Yeah.
we go dive deeper. After reading it, how many times did you second guess? Should I get a hamburger? Do I go with the number 5 from McDonald's?
So right before I finished the book, I had hamburger meat set out because my brother was visiting, and I had hamburger meat set out to cook for my brother and I. I cooked it for like 50 minutes.
So it tasted like a shoe, huh?
I mean, it was probably like higher end, ground beef. My mom gave it to me, and I remember I am assuming that because the packaging was fancier than the tube of ground beef.
Yeah.
And so it's probably better. I don't know. Maybe they were more careful. I don't know if that even matters, but yeah, I cooked it probably like not literally 50 minutes, but a good 5 extra minutes, 10 extra minutes, just because I was like,
so before
you going down like that.
So what's your preference though when it comes to steak or a hamburger or whatever? Like, are you a well done
hamburger? Yeah. Steak out? No. Oh, steak's fine to. I feel like from what I read, because I definitely want to, I'm gonna start reading some stuff after this. I was like, what is this? But the cuts of meat are what are different. It's the stuff that's added in and how they process the ground beef that makes it so vulnerable. Whereas the steaks aren't. They're a different cut and they're processed differently.
So we've got some usual suspects in here. We got Brian, Faceless, Josh, Lou. Yeah. Welcome, everyone. Faceless says, maybe I should have missed this. I've been a huge hamburger kick.
I mean, really, if it's according to the book, right? If you read the book, it's really just the girl who eats the bad meat knows it's not cooked all the way and says it to her father. And her father basically kind of just like, yeah, it's okay. We ate those like that when I was a kid.
Yeah.
So like if it's red in the middle, just don't eat it, spit it out.
Yeah.
Or don't get foreign DNA to transform it.
There you go.
Toxin.
Yeah. Toxin, Josh. We read it a couple years ago.
Perfect. So Lou doesn't eat red meat. Then you got nothing to worry about.
There you go.
What about chicken? Because then you got salmonella and everything else. So
yeah, I'm sure Robin Cook's got a book about chicken somewhere.
Yeah, well done burger is fine. Faceless.
So he was trying to do open heart massage, but pediatric cardiologist already suspected myocardial failure, so it was completely pointless other than to traumatize the child's mother.
Wait. But Brian, it didn't traumatize her. That's like the point where Tracy turned and was completely taken over by his selfless acts. And now she sees him for the, genius, brilliant surgeon he is, and is ready to basically go to jail for the rest of her life for him. All of a sudden, you missed it.
So
no, Brian actually knew that. He mentioned that in an email to me once.
That was a turning point in the book.
Yeah, it was.
It was like, hey, I see my ex-husband on top of my daughter with her heart cavity exposed. He's now the man of my dreams again.
Yeah. I know. That the way they set that up, I was like, this is really good because they're there's going to be that's a good in a book. Anytime you have conflict, that's good because you have so much more to write about. And so I was like, okay, that's why he's got this, ex spouses, and the fate of this girl is in the hands of these doctors, but it's not I like the psychologist and then the surgeon. So like super empathy and zero empathy. There's your contrast in that relationship.
Yeah.
And so I was like, okay, that's good. But then he starts to bring them together, and I was like, what is this?
Yeah.
The most unrealistic thing ever.
And so now we dive into, okay, Tracy's going to cope like a normal person thinking about arrangements and everything else. Then Kim, the guy, he's like, hey, I'm going after, every cow in a 100-mile radius. Yeah. I mean, it's
like, you understand, Tracy, right? She's like, not really, but yeah, I do. Because I saw you.
Yeah. Yeah. Tracy was swooned by his bold and completely take charge ways.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Well, I mean, I see it though. Behind the scenes, she was with the guy whose, restaurant chain was about to go belly up because it's going to be the face of E. coli killing this girl. So
Right.
might as well go with the guy who's actually taking it down, the true hero in this situation.
Yeah, which is another good point that I want to mention later. So we start this investigation. He goes at one point though, he's getting harassed by that
he punches the onion manager or whatever.
Yeah. So he gets thrown in like the slammer for a while and gets off on it by a judge lets him off based on, the leniency of losing his child. So then he starts investigating and he gets a hold of the Baldwin lady. And they were actually at the hospital. She actually came to the hospital when that all went down too. So she kind of saw firsthand. So she had a soft spot in her heart about the whole thing. But she gets involved, even though she was the inspector, I believe.
Right.
That basically is like a wet blanket. They're there just to bother the packaging companies.
Yeah.
And so they kind of do some behind the scenes kind of thing, and something ends up happening with Baldwin. Then Tracy gets involved because once again, like he's, and his grand idea was like, I'll change my appearance and get a job at the place to figure out what's going on, because they end up tracing it to a specific area that our packaging plant that they think that's involved.
Right.
So it's not only far-fetched, it's just like, who goes to all that detail?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the Baldwin character too. Hey, it's about that time.
Yeah.
I just ate five ground beef tacos for supper.
Yeah,
so
well,
it was the rest of that meat that I cooked with my brother. So I was like, if I didn't get sick, a week. How long ago was it that I cooked that? A week and a. Oh shoot, that was a long time. Oh no. Okay, I cooked it. I cooked like 4 days ago. I forgot I had 2 packages. I was like, is that 2-week-old meat? That's a different problem. No, I cooked 1 package like 2 weeks ago, and then the other one I cooked like 3 or 4 days ago. But I cooked that. When I do the ground beef like by itself, not as hamburger patties, I cook it to death, and then I do the water plus your seasoning, and then you put it in there and you boil that out, and so it kind of heats it again. So I cooked the heck out of it. What?
You double cooked it, huh?
Yeah, that's what it says. I didn't use McCormick this time, but McCormick says once you cook it all, then you drain out the grease because you want the grease to be clear, not red. You drain out the grease, and then you put water in the McCormick's mixture in there. You pour it in, and then you boil it, or you cook it until it's completely evaporated, and then you take the meat out. So you're double cooking it anyway. So I did my own version of that, and I double cooked it. Double long.
Hello, Pat.
You're not late, Pat. We just got started.
Yeah.
Really.
Logan was really late to start, and I was wondering if he had
a week. So the Baldwin character is an interesting one because she ends up going missing for a couple days. But with how much they talk about the meat that goes through that plant, she somehow stays in the disposed meat bin or something, disposed bone chips and stuff bin for all those days.
Yep.
Until and as soon as he sees her, the machine gets the bin and takes it out.
Yeah, it's very convenient, isn't it?
Unbelievable. Hey, Pat.
So The other thing that was really kind of funny to me, at least, I don't know how you feel, was the ex-wife, and they're on like a radio thing, and like they're like MI6, and he's in the meat packing plant, and he's trying to avoid the guy that tried to go after him in their house. She was there. She was in the shower.
Yeah.
He comes after the guy, and this was the first time or the second time. I can't remember. I think it was the first time. So he's in the meatpacking plant, and he sees the guy that tried to go after him. And I thought that was really interesting because of one, it just was a very coincidental type thing that was written into it. But the other thing is that, okay, you're a huge meat packing plant. You don't want this negative publicity type thing. So your idea, you've got all these people, they talk about having this meeting with all the heads at this real fancy guy's place.
Yeah.
And they do this closed door type thing. And your plan was to have this guy, say his name is John, go out and find, a guy that may be an illegal, immigrant that's working in your meatpacking plant, and he's going to be your ace in the hole. Like that, like
because he's cheap, I thought.
But like you got all this money and you're trying to avoid something. Like, wouldn't you make sure that you spent the right amount of money where it matters? Like if you're going to off the guy, let's be honest.
Yeah.
Spend the money to have it done right.
Well, then they did spend some of the money to get the guy.
Yes. And then so the second time they got the guy, they got the pro, and then they kept him waiting.
Yeah.
And while he was waiting, he figured out what was going on based on, because they met him at the airport or whatever, they didn't know, or they weren't very candid on what all the details were. And so he was very aware of like, something's not adding up here, but he got part of the stuff, the money up front. And, so like, yeah, he was more upset because one, they were late, and two, he was upset because he didn't want his reputation tarnished. He didn't care about actually finishing the job, so to speak.
Right. Because he found out that the people he was hired to kill, which is Kim and Tracy, had just lost their daughter and stuff. And he found out kind of why. He's like, well, I'm not doing that.
Right.
And so, well, unless I guess they're rude to him, unless he was offended or something like that. But yeah. Brian made a lot of good points about how this was very a mafia and organized crime like, with the hidden meeting, secret meeting. But yeah, it was interesting of how serious the problem. They kind of talked about the problem being, meaning they had exactly. But they had a secret meeting to deal with this problem. Okay, so it's enough of a deal to talk about it where they potentially still could get discovered and heard with someone by the door or something like that.
Right.
It's a big enough problem to bring all the heads of all the corrupt areas together, organizations together. But then go with the cheap guy instead of the professional guy that they ended up paying half to anyway.
Right.
So very, very illogical for such secret crime geniuses.
Here's another thing too that I thought was interesting in terms of like an intertwined plot thread. The reporter, whose name was Kelly Anderson.
Yeah.
She goes after Kim early in the thing because of the whole administration change and all that's going down, and he doesn't like it. And she tries to get him riled up about it again because she caught him, making a statement that was taken out of context like a reporter usually does. And so when he actually has something of substance, he actually has something of substance to give her, she doesn't want to do anything about it.
Yeah, she's like, Yeah. Who knows? Who knows what's going on in her mind? I couldn't really get my, I couldn't put a thumb on her character really, because at the beginning it was kind of like I thought she'd do anything for a story, but then I thought she wanted the real story, and then at the end it was kind of, that's not enough. That's a crazy bombshell, but it's just not enough for me to go with.
What did you think of the ending?
Well, okay, so I thought the ending was. I actually didn't predict that ending. I totally thought that they weren't gonna, have to go into hiding and stuff. Spoiler alert, sorry.
We're way past spoilers.
But so I didn't think they'd actually go and leave. I thought the reputation would be reestablished and his credibility would be kind of solid again and that kind of thing. But I thought it was fine. That there's another book I read and I can't remember anymore that ended just like that. Someone had some story and they, in the form of something, gave it to somebody, and then we're like, see ya, and we're gone. But as far as that goes, and the of course the headlines and all that kind of stuff, that makes sense. I think that was a fine ending. I didn't like that, which is weird because I usually kind of root for families to get back together. But I thought that was kind of a cheap write-in for Kim and Tracy to get back together, because I was like, it doesn't sound like they're really compatible still.
Right.
It sounds like now they're temporarily bonding over the fact that they're both probably wanted criminals for the same crime. And it's kind of like, well, you got to have someone watch out for your back.
Right.
Maybe that's in that situation. Maybe that is as good a reason as any to, get married again.
Yeah. Did you like the fact that the reporter's family at the end, like, hey, let's get.
Oh yeah. What was the place called? The fried onion, the something onion?
Yeah. Something onion, I thought.
It's not the blooming onion.
But she was like, yeah, let's, and she's like, or she said something like to her husband or something like, well, we need to make sure you watch what they're eating, but they went ahead and like did it. And so it was like, that was like kind of like the ambiguous part. Like, is she going to actually do the story? What's going to happen to her family? Is it going to be recurrence?
Yeah.
The other thing too is like, there's no like justice for everything that's going down with the meatpacking plant, the Department of Agriculture, being in the pocket of, it's just, it basically leaves you with this thing, kind of like this theme that when you read this book, you realize like you truly are your own health advocate. And that's it. No one's going to look out for you.
Right. No, that's true. And it definitely comes down to discretion. So you make a series of decisions and that leads to your health. But the thing about, I don't think Robin Cook could have done a good job resolving all those problems of corruption. So it's kind of like left undone. And for you to imagine or to kind of think of like what you hope the story would have revealed and who would have gotten in trouble and all that kind of stuff. But, at the end of the day, I think he had a really good path forward to say, and now the USDA is perfectly, ethical. There's no more corruption in the beef industry at all, and so on and so forth.
Yeah.
And
Brian's very anti-E. coli.
He's anti-E. coli? Oh, because he's saying it's so rare and it kills fewer people than lightning strikes. Yeah, but he's right. Both of them, it's like their daughter that meant so much to her.
I know.
So much to them. Like that's the whole motivation of going and fighting corruption and stuff like that. She's pretty much forgotten about once the funeral comes around.
Well, and it also, like, based along what you just said, it also raises a point of, no matter how much evidence you have, no matter how much traction you have, you're never going to take down something like the USDA. Like it's bigger, it's too big to fail type thing.
Yeah. Yeah. And by the way, one of the supervisor of the USDA person that ended up dying was in basically the mafia group.
Yeah.
So you had everybody. You had the regulators, or the regulatory, group, and you had the big business group, and you had the small business group. So it was everyone.
So your favorite part, Brian, I know you read this too. What was your favorite part? You can put it in the comments. What was your favorite part, Logan?
My favorite part probably, so okay, the funniest part, and then I like my actual favorite part. But I thought the funniest part is the disguise he chose. The most ridiculous, like punk rocker. Like what in the of all the disguises you choose? I mean, and then I guess I don't know when it takes place. I'm assuming it's the '90s. So
Yeah.
But a '90s punk rocker.
Yeah.
So it's kind of punk rock before punk rock was cool.
There was a goth emo phase coming really close. So
Yeah, shortly after '98. Yeah, give it 5 years and it'll be full fledged. But thought that was a pretty funny choice. Like with the earring, I think he has ear pierced, like for real.
Yeah.
So
he had like blonde hair, didn't he?
Yeah, blonde hair, cut short. He had fake tattoos, I think.
Yeah.
He had neck tattoos.
Yes.
Yeah. Anyway, that was funny. But my favorite part of the book, honestly, my favorite part of the book was the very beginning and the prologue and the epilogue. So I actually liked how he set up that it just takes, two random guys or people who just want to make some extra money, and they kind of, cut corners to do that, and that poses a huge risk. Like it's a small decision that can lead to a cascade of events.
Yeah.
Of the guys. And so I kind of liked how he started with it. And of course, if you read most epilogues, typically the epilogue is going to tie into it as well. But I like how the bookends of the book were these guys that all this happened, they're none the wiser, and they learn nothing from it because there's nothing to learn because they don't even consider themselves as a part of the whole thing that happened.
Right.
And they probably aren't reading the papers anyway.
No.
So I kind of liked how that was it, rather than, there's some other like neglect, or ignorance leading to a problem, rather than always some conniving, super secret genius behind stuff. So I like that. That's kind of my favorite, I guess, aspect of it.
Yeah.
But I don't have like a favorite scene of the book. Although I did enjoy reading most of the outbursts. First couple, then they started getting old, but
yeah. I could relate with the outbursts. I mean, I had a girl that was, when she was younger, she was in the hospital a bunch, and so like I was always like, you get one chance to put an IV in, and then you're not doing it again. Like you get one stick, that's it. Like when she was like real little.
Yeah.
And so I can understand that, especially when he was like, I want to talk to the chief or whatever, like, I've been there. I've been like, I want to talk to someone else, But yeah, I also like to what you mentioned with the two guys at the beginning, just all the cascading of like poor decisions and greed and everything else. Like, not only because it reads well, but also because it's almost realistic. Like you can almost imagine it happening, and so it's just very relatable.
Yeah.
So that was my favorite.
Yeah. Brian likes the
daddy
blockbuster scene.
Yeah.
They're ripping out.
Erotic heart scene, herring. Yeah. Brian, it had some kind of alien vibes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also one of the things that I guess I kind of thought about too, and this is not like a favorite scene, but I don't know that I could eat lunch if I worked at a place like that. Like, I don't know that I could wash myself clean enough unless I could take a full on like 10-minute shower before lunchtime. I don't know that I'd trust my hands and everything.
Yeah.
In the way it was depicted. It reminds me, I watched this movie a long time ago, and I don't know who all's in the chat, but if you've seen this movie, you can let me know. But it's called Ready to Rumble. Have you seen that movie?
No.
Okay. So it's, I think it's Caan. I forget James Caan's son, Scott Caan, maybe, and David Arquette. Anyway, they're trying to find this wrestler who basically had a falling out in wrestling match and was all depressed and sad. And so they go on this like cross-country trek to try to find them. But their job is that they clean out all the porta potties and stuff. And so there's this one scene where like they're finished cleaning out the porta potties and they're just sitting on the back of the truck. Stuff's like seeping out, and they're just sitting with their sandwiches and they have this like rag that's got a whole bunch of brown spotting on it, and it's not their food. And they're like just like wiping their mouth with it, And like I think of that scene and I'm thinking that's how I'd feel if I were to work in this meat packing factory or meat packing plant. And then all of a sudden they're like, break for lunch. And it's like, what are you serving? The meat that, some of the meat that you just did. And it's like, I don't know. Again, I couldn't feel clean enough to eat that.
Well, I think subconsciously we all, when we go to a restaurant and whatnot, we all assume that back in the kitchen, it's super clean. It's like those movies you see where there's like a 2 Michelin star kitchen and it's spotless, stainless steel, everything, and there's like very little clutter. That's our interpretation, and it's completely fantasy.
Have you ever worked in food service?
No, but I have been privy to kitchens before, and I've checked off on my mental list. I'm never eating there again.
Yeah, no, for the most part they're not really that clean.
No,
it's not. Now it's not really realistic that people like drop stuff on the ground and pick it up and put it on the the flat top or something. At least not usually. I've never seen that, but yeah, they're not like super clean. I remember I slipped and fell on like some raw meat on the ground once. And so who knows where all it was on the ground when I fell and what all it got on my legs or my, my arms, because I had to brace myself. I went and washed my hands and everything, and I wasn't touching the food at the time. But who knows, like little things like that. So like that could be the cascading event. It's like that's the one infected with E. coli, and then all of a sudden it gets on my arm, and then my arm rubs against something that's the paper that's used for the tray, and then that food gets put on it, and then someone dies.
Yeah.
And you look back and it's like, what are the odds, right? And it's like, actually, that's kind of how those things happen. Just a bunch of little things line up, but yeah, that I don't know. I eat out less now. I'll put it that way.
Yeah.
I'll cook my own hamburgers.
Yeah, I mean, so what was your rating?
Rating?
Do you even remember?
Yeah, no, I mean, I don't think I actually rated this one. I don't know if I rated it on Goodreads. Maybe I rated it on Goodreads. Let me see what I gave it on Goodreads if I rated it on Goodreads. Off the top of my head, I'd say like a 3.5 or something. Or, yeah, well, if I don't do halves, then a 3-star.
I guess while you're looking, I should be looking to what I put it on the.
Do you use Goodreads?
No.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, you don't, because you have your Excel sheet.
Hey, don't be knocking it.
I'm not knocking it.
Old school.
I said it that way, but you're right. But I'm not trying not to knock it. Okay. So read books. Toxin gets a. Oh, I read the Meg. Didn't who read the Meg not too long ago?
Not me.
I know, but
wasn't it?
It was one of the Books, Bros, and Banter guys. I think
it was Scott, wasn't it?
Was it Scott?
Yeah.
Gosh, I must have read this a while ago. Maybe I didn't put it in here.
Isn't he in here? No, he doesn't like us anymore, I guess.
But Toxin, yeah. So I didn't rate it, but I'd probably give it like a 3.5, somewhere around there.
I was like a 3.6.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Yeah, if I get halves, then I'll put a 3.5. If I don't, then I'll say 3. It's definitely not a 4-star for me.
Brian, what was your rating, Brian?
Does Brian rate books?
I don't know. He can give it a numerical value.
Yeah.
I'm just curious.
You can give it an E for E. coli.
Knowing Brian, it'll be like, 3.1795.
3.14. So the story on this book, I think I told you this, But so my mom read it and she said it freaked her out. She basically asks for burgers well done all the time. In fact, she does a lot of meats well done, but she cooks steaks all the time that are kind of medium well. Medium well is pretty common in my household for steaks. I have my brother who is the one who might eat medium or medium rare. No one eats rare steaks, but burgers, everyone does well done. Maybe, I guess if it's like a special meat, maybe they'll do like a medium well, but for the most part, everyone cooks pretty well, pretty thoroughly. But yeah, so my family read this, but well, my mom and sister did. And my mom, of course, is like, I always do well done burgers, which, I do too. And then my sister,
Gavin.
My sister, she doesn't eat red meat anymore. And I never knew that it had anything to do with this book. So I'm sitting and talking to him. And then like a few weeks later, I'm talking to my dad and he's like, yeah, always be careful about cooking ground beef because there's a good book that talks about the industry. I was like, Toxin? He's like, yeah, that's it. And he said, I read that book and, it makes you think about the meat industry or the, ground beef and burgers and things. I was like, so everyone's read this book except me. So that's why I wanted to read it. And then when my brother was over, I asked him if he's read it, but he hadn't read it yet. And he's the one that eats rare stuff or medium rare stuff.
That's me.
Yeah. But when it comes to steaks, it's like, yeah, medium is how I usually get them. So,
yeah.
But burgers for sure, ground beef, anything, sausage and ground beef, cook it till it's dark brown.
Yeah, I'm a chicken and pork has to be done, but yeah.
There's no one that is like, oh, I'll get a medium rare chicken. I think everyone's like, yeah, I don't want salmonella. So just
I've watched too much Gordon Ramsay to know that you don't undercook chicken and pork.
Yeah, exactly. Although pork, you don't have to cook near as high. It's like you get a pork loin, you can totally cook it to like 140 and be good. 145, 150. Sorry, 145, 150.
Different gross out phenomenon, but I worked around human cadavers in medical setting, and there's a type of meat that smells just like human muscle, in my opinion. Can't eat it to this day. Well, thank you for not selling or telling us what it was, because we.
Brian, include that in your next email. Thank you. Hey, he's right with us.
3.5 out of 5. There Perfect. You
go. Yeah, Brian, I do want to know. You won't ruin it for me. Promise.
Interesting. So,
is the sun getting more and more in your eyes as it lower it gets?
Yeah.
Okay. I need to noticing this.
I need to blind soon. Would you read another Robin Cook book?
Oh yeah. I love Robin Cook books. He's not my favorite. I don't think so. I think David Baldacci's taken over. Robin Cook is my favorite author, but I've read Toxin, I've read Cell, I've read Nano, I've read Viral, I've read the Intervention, which was one of my favorites for a long time. It's got a weird part or two in there, but Intervention's a really cool one. It's a little less like the rest of his books. In fact, some people don't like Intervention at all because it's not like his other books. But I enjoy Robin Cook books for sure. They're easy reads for me, and they're highly entertaining. Even though there's some. Hold on, let me think of her name. I can see her face, and I almost can see her channel. But she's given Robin Cook books a try, and she doesn't like them. Gosh, what's her name? I'll think of it in a second. But she was fair. She gave him a fair chance. Read a couple books. She read Pandemic, I think, and then another one. I forget the other one she read. She read either Cell or Nano and Pandemic. I have not read Pandemic, but her complaint was that Robin Cook doesn't write characters very well. They're pretty, the characters are kind of one-dimensional, flat, that kind of thing. I have Coma. I have all of Robin Cook's books, by the way.
You do?
Yeah, I do. That's one author that I went and I tried to buy every single one of his. His first book is The Year of the Intern, and I have it, but I haven't read it. Oh, I read Bellevue as well. That's his newest book. He just came out with it, I think, in fall of last year. So he's still writing. So obviously I mean, if you look at he's got like 15 books listed before 1998. So he's been writing for a while. And he just came out with Bellevue. Now, Bellevue is like a paranormal thriller. So he starts to go into the paranormal.
Nice.
Not my favorite. Interesting story. In fact, I really liked the book up until the paranormal part. But I like them for some reason. I like the Robin Cook books. I like the audiobooks are okay. The person who narrates them are fine. But this is actually, I'd say this is one of the lower rated Robin Cook books that I've read in my mind. Most of them hover around that 4 flat, 3.6, 3.7 to 4.1, 4.2. He doesn't write 5-star books. He's kind of like if you take Patterson, but then add like 0.7. So I read Patterson books and they're all 3. They're all just decent. Cook is kind of like they're all pretty decent,
Patterson is, I don't know how to describe him. The first 2 Cross books are really good, but then it's just like formulaic.
Is that Long Came a Spider and Kiss the Girls?
Yeah.
Okay.
And it just becomes formulaic after that. And I just question whether he's writing them all. Unless he's got, I just feel like he's got a team.
No longer. Writers. Yeah, now it's always Patterson and so-and-so, and it's usually so-and-so, right?
But even like, yeah.
You think is he still writing the numbered series?
I don't know. I had a bunch of the numbered books and I had a bunch of the Alex Cross books. I had like 25 of the Alex Cross. I think I had like 8 or 9 of the numbered ones. And I ended up giving them to a free library because after a few, I was just like, it's the same thing.
Became a Patterson library.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But anyways, so what are you reading now?
Ooh, I just started. Give me a sec, because I forgot already. So my audiobook at the moment is Dark Corners by Megan Golden. So Megan Golden has a
long time ago that Patterson would create an outline for his book and have a team write it. No idea if that's true or not.
So that's like the analog version of ChatGPT.
Yeah.
Yeah. That makes sense. So yeah, Dark Corners by Megan Golden's my current audiobook. So Megan Golden wrote a book. I don't know if it's a series now. It's the Rachel Crawl series. The first book, I forget what it's called, but it's about a true crime podcaster, and let me see if I can remember the name of it. But it's one of those The Night Swim. That's what the first one's called, The Night Swim. And it's one of those Walmart thrillers that I always call everything a Walmart thriller that I buy from Walmart. That's a mass paperback. And it was pretty good. I was like, this is one that I kind of enjoy. So, put her in there with like,
thank you,
Nancy Bush and no, Nancy Bush doesn't do that. But like, who are all the people in Walmart thrillers? Like the guy that writes the books that I don't like. What's his name? Anyway, all those people that you go to Walmart to buy. That's all I can think of. She's one of those, but it's pretty good. So I got the second one. All that to say, yeah, it's just the second one in her series of the Rachel Crawl. She's like a true crime podcaster, and she solves or helps solve crimes or get to the bottom of something through her true crime podcast and stuff like that. So I like the first one. I got the second one. The other book I'm reading is Demon Copperhead, which is actually a Pulitzer Prize winner, I think.
Mm-hmm. Heard of it.
That's super good. I'm about a third, maybe a little more of the way through it. But yeah, that Demon Copperhead book's good. And I bet people, I don't know if Pat's still in here. I wonder if Pat's read Demon Copperhead. But
probably.
It's about a kid who grew up in a holler and I guess in the Appalachian, area, and is really, just really hard life. Really, a kid you have a lot of compassion for. foster, mother was an addict, foster care, bouncing around homes, but it's so Demon Copperhead is a spin on David Copperfield. Yes, that's why it's named that way. So, all right, Brian.
Yeah, Brian.
But yeah, it's I forget the person's name. I forget her name, but yeah, she says it's essentially a version of David Copperfield. You should read it though, Kevin. I think you'd like it.
Okay.
It's a long book. It's like 600 pages or so, but I think you really would enjoy it.
Nice.
What are you reading?
Well, it's Indie Author August, so I am reading a book by T.H. Brandt, which is a collection of shorter books. And so I'm reading that. And I'm listening to The Devils by Joe Abercrombie.
Oh, man. You know that Josh and Chris and I are going to talk about that soon.
Yeah.
You got to come watch that then, because let's see. How far are you in that book?
About halfway.
Okay. So you're halfway. So you're about to start part 3.
Yeah. About to start part 3.
Okay. So our discussion is on, give me a sec. I think it's on like the 26th. You'll have it done by then, I bet. 9 days. Yeah. It's long. And you're an Abercrombie fan, aren't you?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, good. I can't wait for you to defend this one.
Oh, come on. You didn't like it?
Hey, you got to come to the discussion.
I will say, of all the Abercrombie books, I've read them all. This one has the most F-bombs I've ever heard in an Abercrombie book.
Really?
Yeah. Because I've actually been listening to this on Audible.
So same here.
I've been on the trails hiking, listening to it. And I just giggle because, Jakob, Vega, Vega especially, she has got a potty mouth.
Yeah.
It's not like he's doing it to do it. They actually make sense. Yeah. But yeah.
Because they're kind of like not really people, and then also people. Because
so far, the plot is, it's just kind of, okay, I guess we're doing this thing where, the supposed, we don't want this person to take, and this person's the new person. We want her to be the queen or princess or whatever. And like that's really all that I know is the premise. And we're trying to get to this Troy or wherever. And so but like in most Abercrombie books, it's not about the plot. Like he does action really good. So I'm surprised I haven't seen a lot. There has been some, but he does characters like there's no one else, especially in grim dark. Like the characters are what sells everything, and he's got some great ones in this one.
So I agree. He does characters like nobody else. That's true. That is 100% true. So, okay. So I'll give you two things, two complaints I had. So, well, first I'll praise it for being better than Best Served Cold. Okay. It's like 100 times better than Best Served Cold. You liked Best Served Cold? Okay. Anyway, so I'll give it that. Best Served Cold, easily like the worst book I've ever read, but this one's better than that one. But that's only because this is the second worst book I've ever read. Anyway, that said, you're turning red, Kevin. But none of the characters are like they take nothing seriously. Like their word doesn't matter, chivalry doesn't matter, honor doesn't matter. Like nothing matters. There's nothing to hang your hat on with these characters.
That's why they're so good.
Okay, and they're right up your alley. But yeah, secondly is that there's nothing redeemable about any of them. Like they're all just terrible people. They're terrible people that serve themselves somehow just to further what seems like an honorable goal or idea or something, but then you find out like, oh no, that is just better for them. Okay, I get it now.
So to Gavin's comment, yes, we are obviously on opposite sides. Logan's on the wrong side. I'm on the right side.
And we're not going to convince each other, so we just lay it all out there.
I mean, Cole Shivers, Logan Nine Fingers, Baez. I mean, all of the characters in like the First Law world, they are all terrible in their own rights. They have some have redeeming qualities, or they come to those redeeming qualities, but they're all terrible characters.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, maybe grimdark is not my thing, and so Abercrombie gets thrown out with the bathwater. You know, maybe that's the case. But I haven't read the original First Law series. So I haven't read the Blade itself. Okay. That being said, I have read Best Served Cold and I have read The Devils, and so people who like them will never convince me to read First Law trilogy, because if that's the Joe Abercrombie that you like then I promise you, your favorite Joe Abercrombie is not going to be like the one that I'm like, okay, this one's really good. So, unfortunately, I think in this case, Joe Abercrombie started with a strike, so it only took 2 strikes and he was out.
So, who else is doing this discussion?
Chris and Josh.
Well, Chris will like it for sure. Josh probably will like it too. I don't know. Josh could be a wild card on me.
Yeah,
so you didn't like it, so you're going to be like a 3 or a 2. Chris is going to be probably in the 4s. Josh could be like 3.5, 4 area.
Maybe so. Yeah, they haven't given me ratings. We haven't talked about ratings. This is a book that we've all read a long time ago too. So I think I read The Devils. I think we all read it when it came out. When did it come out?
May.
So I think we all read it.
It came out the same time as the new Stephen King book, and I haven't read either one of them.
Okay, yeah, I think we read it in May. At least we all started it in May or shortly thereafter, and so I think we might have finished it in June maybe. But so it's going to be like 2 months because we just could never figure out a time that worked for us, and so the 26th is when we'll do it. So it's not going to be fresh in our minds, but you're reading it now, so you got to come to discussion so you can correct us when we're wrong about stuff.
I'm definitely going to come to discussion now.
But they like Abercrombie, and so they probably will. Well, I guarantee they're going to like it better than me. But that's everybody. He's one of those authors, and maybe grimdark is one of those genres where I'm disappointed, not in Abercrombie, not in his editors or anything like that. I'm disappointed in society for supporting grimdark and Abercrombie.
Yeah.
So people like you.
Well, Glenn Cook is another one that I need to read in grimdark. So that's another one I need to read. His Black Company is supposed to be really good.
Glenn Cook?
Yeah. And so, okay, here's the thing too. Like Abercrombie and King are both authors that have read everything. And so when these books came out in May, I'm actually surprised I'm just now getting to Abercrombie and I still haven't read King, which brings up another topic is that I'm scared what King does with another Holly Gibney book, because Holly was so bad. And when King
you hated it,
I hated it.
Yeah, I remember that.
It's still the only King book I don't own a physical copy of.
Okay. You own Christine?
Yes.
Did you ever see the movie?
Yes.
I never so the newest King book is another Holly book?
Yep.
Kevin's on the other side from everyone on books.
Holly was bad, Gavin, because of he just wanted to put his political stance in the novel. That's why it was bad. The premise was fun. I mean, the premise of the book was interesting, but yeah.
What's your top? Let's say top few King books. Since I can't force you to do one, but
Doohickey, 11/22/63, It, Needful Things, The Dark Half, Salem's Lot.
What are the bottoms?
Terry.
What are the bottoms?
The bottoms?
Yeah. Holly, obviously.
Holly. Roadwork is not one of my favorite Bachman books. I think it's my least favorite of the Bachman books.
Yeah. It's the most forgettable one too.
Yeah. I wasn't a big fan of From a Buick 8, but that's like one of King's like cocaine books. When he was on cocaine, like he was just writing books that were just so out there that they just didn't make a lot of sense. They didn't have a lot of continuity to them.
Mm-hmm.
Cell is another one that's kind of a weaker one.
Cell with a C or an S?
Cell, like in cell phone.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I mean, the Dark Tower books are fantastic. And there are a lot of people that don't like the Gunslinger, and I think it's incredible. But
those are the same, right? The Gunslingers, the Dark Tower.
It's book one.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, there's so much. I mean, yeah.
So what are the odds that he's making another Holly book when that's your least favorite?
I think he's played out on it, in my opinion. I mean, she was a great character. I loved her in the Bill Hodges trilogy.
Oh, so she's a recurring character.
Yes.
Okay.
She is a recurring character. When King had this whole thing, like, hey, I'm going to get into like the police kind of detective procedural type stories and write those, because King's written in like so many different subgenres.
Yeah.
But it worked really well. I mean, Jerome, Holly, Hodges, and then continuing the stories, with The Outsider, If It Bleeds, those books also had Holly in it. But then when she had their first standalone, like the premise was great. He inserts his political stances and everything else into it. It just it was bad.
When did Holly come out?
2022, I want to say.
Okay.
Could be wrong. But yeah. I think it's great how he wasn't planning on putting her in lots of stories, but he just keeps getting more and more into the character. I agree. I think it could be a good thing for sure. Gavin, have you read the Never Flinch? But yeah, I mean, King he's hit and miss on people. The biggest thing with King that I've always had, and he's one of my favorites, but his endings are hit and miss. So hit and miss. And when he misses bad. I waited a long time to read Tommyknockers because I heard it was just so out there. I loved it. It was one of my favorite book reviews I've ever done on my channel. But for the longest period of time, I didn't pick the book up because it had all this cachet that it's just like, this is terrible type thing. Which just goes to show you can't trust what's on Goodreads or what people say. Like you have to find out yourself. But
oh yeah, I went to Goodreads and like this book Abercrombie. People love Abercrombie on Goodreads, and people dislike Robin Cook. I'm like the opposite on both of them. I'm like, yeah,
that's a good point, because when you get back to the book we're talking about, like there was a lot of interesting plot threads. It was interesting parts of the book, but it was far-fetched in places too.
Yeah. I still think you would enjoy Intervention. That's still my claim. My Cook claim is I think you'd enjoy Intervention. Again, there is this like weird kind of character that comes in, toward the end, but I think everything leading up to that's just perfect. It's fantastic.
Yeah.
The characters, I think that Intervention's one where the characters are actually done well. And I think I can't remember her name, but the comment that the characters are pretty flat and one-dimensional, which again, all characters are three-dimensional because they're people, and people only live in three-dimensional space. But anyways, to use it as like a metaphor, I could see that being true. But I don't even know what Mr. Mercedes trilogy is. And the first time I saw this comment, I thought The Secret Window. In my head, I had The Rear Window. I was like, what book is The Rear Window based on? But then that's not the right movie.
Yeah. Yeah, the Mr. Mercedes trilogy, the Bill Hodges trilogy, it's a good trilogy. And it's really interesting because book two is it really throws people off because you have the plot of book one, and then the book two is it kind of takes a different direction, but yet it's loosely tied to book one. And then book three is back kind of like in the main story. And so it's an interesting trilogy for sure. Um Another book, you talk about when you talk about like biochemistry and viruses and everything else, and I've got it on my shelf and I've read it before, and I was really young when I read it, but it's Richard Preston's The Cobra Event.
Yeah, I have that book.
Yeah.
Haven't I told you about that book?
Yeah. It's an interesting book.
Yeah, I want to read it because the cover is super eye catching.
Yeah.
Because it's like a big eye.
Yeah. And so I remember enjoying it, and I bring it up for 2 points. Is like I know we had talked about reading it.
Yeah.
But the other point is that it's an interesting concept too that I've been kicking around for Let Me Know, because it's like, okay, when you read a book 20 years ago and you remember enjoying it, and then you go to reread it, sometimes like it misses. And it's an interesting, like, why is that? Is it because we change or taste change? I think I think that would be an interesting kind of Let Me Know discussion, like, which books, and why did people think that that's, because you would think as a reader, your core kind of personality as a reader wouldn't change, but it does as you read more books or you branch out to other authors.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, because I haven't been on BookTube in a while, what are you doing on your channel lately? Same stuff? You got some new stuff going on? I mean, it has to have been a couple months. So
well, it's Indie Author August, so it's all about indie authors right now. So short stories and book reviews I've been reading nothing but indie.
Yeah, because that's right. Because June on the Range is when I kind of stopped.
Yeah, June on the Range was another one I was kind of like all in on Westerns. And then July was the reading event that I loosely participated in, was Private Eye July, which was fun. But yeah, August has been all about indie.
I gave you one indie book. You remember?
Yes, you did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You should fit that in there. That's a fast read. Like, you would be through it in a weekend. It is a fast read. It's almost like double spaced.
Yep.
Anyways, it'd be interesting to read. I mean, you don't have to do it. I'm just saying. I remember, since you've read Toxin now that I sent, and I know you're eager to read the Kyle Sniper biography.
November's gonna be stacked with books.
The what?
Nonfiction November is gonna be busy.
Yeah,
because I want to read that book.
that one I can try to also read it, because I have it and I haven't read it either, so I can try to read that in November too. Because I still email Zach and Brian and text you every once in a while. So I'm kind of like, I still read the amount. It's just with my workload just went, and so I was like, well, I was kind of, I texted you and stuff. I was kind of contemplating taking a back seat and reducing my BookTube stuff anyway. And then my work really ramped up, and I was like, I really got to dedicate all my free time to that. And so now the time I do get to read, it's few and far between. Like, I've been reading Demon Copperhead for 3 weeks now, and I've only read 160, 70 pages of it. And so, like, I'll read like a chapter. They're small chapters, 6 to maybe 12 pages. And I have time in the morning to read like 1 or 2 of those.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much it. So I might be on chapter 60 or whatever chapter I'm on, 48 or something, but it's taken me, 24 days to get there. So I'm just reading a lot slower. Audiobooks are still my jam, because I drive actually a little bit more per day now. So I'm able to get through audiobooks quicker.
Yeah. Yeah. I that's one thing I miss about commuting, was audible time. Now I have to fit it in when I walk and hike, and
yeah. I read a nonfiction book. It was I think it was a New York Times reporter did a history on like the kit they use when someone's been like sexually assaulted. And so it's the kit they use to match DNA and stuff like that. And it's about the history of it, and it was pretty good. It was a really quick read, and I think I commuted to work, and then I commuted like to a town that I usually don't commute to all the way over to another town, and so I think I drove in like 3 hours, and I think it was a 4 to 8 hour audiobook anyway. And so like just in those 2 days, I did the whole thing.
Yeah.
And finished the whole book. I think it might've been like a 6 hour audiobook, and I did it 2 times speed. And so it was a little bit quicker, but yeah, I always feel good when I knock out a book in a matter of a days, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes I'll even just to make myself a little happier and boost myself. Yeah, I'll address that in a second. Just to boost my confidence in reading and stuff, I'll purposefully get like a 4 or 5 hour book just because I know I'm going to do it in just one round trip.
What's up, Rob? So let's go back to this comment. I love how Gavin like let me off easy on bringing this subject up.
Oh, you were going to bring it up?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So, yeah, Gavin. So, first of all, just Logan's fine. Like Logan, no doctor. I had a channel called Novel Insights. I think on my name it says formerly Novel Insights on there. And I don't know, sometime in June maybe, I was like, I got to take a step back. And I hid my channel. I just paused it for a second. Not really a good reason. I think the main reason was because I kind of thought that was how you like pause a channel. And so I did it. I guess I could just leave stuff up. I could go back and do that, but yeah. So it is hidden. It's not completely gone. I didn't delete everything off, but it is hidden right now. And I'm sure I'll post it up again. Maybe, I don't know. If I come back, I will. I'm making my temporary exit, and my channel's existence synonymous. So,
hey, James,
if I come back, the channel will come back. If I don't, the channel won't. That's how I see it.
It's a big
if. It is a big if. So here's the thing. In the last few months, like what I wanted to do and get done and everything, like the reason I kind of went on a hiatus, I've been able to get done and do everything. And it's really actually been Gareth. Okay.
I keep calling him Gavin, don't I?
Yeah. Is it not Gavin? Is Gareth? That's hilarious.
Oh, my bad, Gavin. Okay. I tried to almost do it again. Gareth, I'm sorry, man.
Sorry, Gareth. Kevin's a terrible influence on me. So obviously. Yeah. Are you English or British or Australian? Or is mate just in your vernacular now? Maybe I totally missed it. English. There you go. All right. So I don't know. I haven't even thought twice. I haven't had an inkling to get back. I haven't even thought about making a video. Like nothing creatively has come up and like, this would be a cool video. It's all just been completely focused on everything else. So
I'm envious.
Well, okay. Fair enough too. And some of the stuff that I've gone through the last year, like I think the channel was also a way to kind of cope with and get through some of that stuff. And so I think now that I'm through that stuff, I don't have the same need for the channel and need for the creative outlet. I also have kind of adopted some other creative outlets. And so I'm keeping, kind of alive the relationships and the stuff that I've made along the way, because those are invaluable. Those are valuable. You know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
But those, so those are things that I don't associate with like the kind of expression through the channel. I consider those separate. So like my expression through the channel is more me just kind of saying I need something to kind of do and channel my creativity or lack of thereof, basically something that I wanted to do and kind of do something with it that's got some sort of public facing aspect. And so it's really cool to kind of get plugged in and get, with the community and that kind of thing. But then that same need, that same drive just kind of stopped. And that's when I started wavering. But the friendships and stuff, those kinds of things I wanted to keep. And so anyone I kind of was in contact with, like I emailed Brian and Zach both today before this. Might have even emailed some people yesterday too. I still text Josh and Chris. I still keep in contact with you, so the people I kind of kept in contact with for the most part. Now, some people I kept in contact with the comments only, but anything that was like past the comments and into email and stuff. In fact, I should email Sam just to email him and give him a hard time, just because he was funny. That was fun whenever he was on with us. But yeah, so like the relationships are, still important to me. But I've already, like, for example, I've already traded in all my comics. So like the rest of the comics I didn't finish, I just traded them in. So I was like, the guy at local, he's trying to build up his comic book collection. And I was like, I have a whole bunch, man. And so I said, here, just take them. So I don't know that I've fully moved on, but I've pretty far moved on from what I was doing on the channel. So like if I came back, it would be a really new thing. I don't think I'd do some of the same stuff. Because Kevin, I really wanted to do something where my expertise and my, background and professional, identity and psychology and research and stuff kind of intersected with the books. But I never did that very well. And so I was like, I'm doing a really bad job of what I want to do. I was like, let me take a break for a second and get my wits about me and see if it's still something I want to do or anything like that. So
do you feel like you did a bad job because the views were down, or do you feel like you did a bad job?
Yes. I think I did a bad job because I did not put enough effort into it. I should have really done less frequency and more planning and preparing. And I think I got caught up in I need to post more often. And I even mentioned how I got caught up a little bit in like trying to post what other doing videos that everyone else is doing. And don't worry. This is a moment where I really could blame you on the tag videos, but I'm not going to, because that was completely my own doing. But I was trying to do a lot more videos that had less depth. And I really like the title matches were some of my favorites because they're a lot more depth and they were rare. And so, exactly, getting swept up some booktube conventions. So now I think if I come back, I think what I'm going to do is I would probably create 5 to 10 solid videos and just to start out, just put them on like a once every week or once every 2 weeks release kind of thing. But like take months to create 5 to 10 solid videos and then just kind of put them and say, okay, for the next, let's say I make 10, for the next 5 months, they're going to come out once every other week, but they're going to be what I really wanted to do. So I think if I do return, it's going to be after I create a good number of videos that I really wanted to create. Right now, I just don't have the time to create the ones that I really want to. And that might be why I don't have that itch to get back into the game, so to speak, is because I'm so busy with what I'm doing professionally that I can't quite get into the hobby the way I want to. So I think that's how I'm viewing it, is if I can't get into it the way I want to, then I'm not going to get into it until I can, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it does.
So, but I'm still reading, because sometimes I chose a book that I thought was going to be great and then ended up not being really good for what I wanted to do. But I think there's still a chance that I'll come back and do some stuff, but right now, not in the immediate future. So, Charles, do you remember the books that I did on Charles Ross Ellington's books?
Mm-hmm.
I think the first one was Kids Fed, Bills Paid, and the second one was The Sheep Chromosome. He came out with a new one. I forget what it's called. He sent me the stuff. In fact, I got to go on. I know it's out now because he said he said last week it'd be in a few days. I had to go on Amazon and get it. So that may be a reason to return.
Yeah.
If I can get another. This one's supposed to be really good. Or it's supposed to be a lot more like up my alley. So anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of behind the departure, the exodus, and the potential return. So, but I don't want to like tout it like, oh, I'm going to return. I don't know. I might not.
It is happening more and more, it seems like.
Yeah. Well, make way for better people to come through and take the spot. There's way better channels out there. And there's also, channels that should get a lot of, they put a lot of time and effort into it, and they can kind of fill the slots of the channels like me that just rode coattails of Kevin Toll Reed's. So.
Oh my goodness!
I like this Kevin guy's. He sure is rising to the top. Let me do tag videos called Toll Tags because that's a really cool play on words. I thought that was a genius idea, and then I chose the wrong person. Not because you were the right person in terms of coattails. You're just the wrong person in terms of you were not human. You're like, here's 7 tag videos this week.
The week I did the 5 tags, I felt a little bad for you because I knew that was still at the point where basically every time I tag you felt obligated to do the response.
I remember I had printed out the questions on them. I had stapled, I think 8 or 9 tag videos, questions and answers, and I was like, I think I recorded like 4 or 5 in a day, back to back, changing shirts because I didn't want to do 5 tag videos of the same shirt. I was like changing shirts. I kid you not, I think it was like 10 a.m. to like 4 p.m. I was doing tag videos. I was like, then I realized you've read a lot. I haven't. And so I start to not have answers to questions.
Well, so, I got, it brings up a really good point is that the tags, I felt like the tags that I want to do are the ones that are more discussionary.
Less book related and more like, tell me about you.
Right. Yeah. And I've liked, I can always kind of tell which ones I'm interested in because it's the ones that I can do while I'm out walking the trails. And I don't have to have books in front of me, I don't have to have a book to hold up. I can just, and those are the ones I think are more interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the cool thing too is with tag videos, like if you don't ever get the tag video you want, you can make it.
Yeah.
I don't know how many original tags you've done now, but I know you got into the game. You obviously haven't done too many more than.
No, I haven't, honestly. And I took like a month off.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
Yeah, those did get a little ridiculous though.
Yeah. I got behind, tried to play catch up and punted out like 4 or 5 like in a 2-week period.
Yeah. 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 I remember that. And then there's like at the very end, I started getting tagged by other people who did other ones other than you. I was like, I gotta quit. I gotta get out of this thing. So I was like, last tag video, I'm quitting tags. You, Adventures with Brian, and someone else. I forgot who it was. Someone else started tagging me toward the end. I was like, in one day, I was like 4 tag videos, just one day, and I thought, yeah. And it's not because I don't even know why. It just happened. Because it wasn't like my channel got any bigger, like more people. It's the same people that I always knew. They're just like, oh, I think Adventures with Brian, I think he was in on the joke a little bit. I think he kind of knew and was like, yeah, I'll tag Dr. Logan on this one.
He definitely liked that little evil emoji that he would always put out there.
Yeah. Yeah. He's funny. I liked his channel. Is he's still going strong? No, he's out.
I emailed him a while back and asked just to check on him and see how he was doing. He said he was doing fine. He just hasn't. It's been several months.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So similar to me then, because I remember he was still posting some stuff when I was toward the end.
Yeah, I have a list that I do my wellness checks on. It's a guy thing. We have to make sure we're okay.
That's
it
true.
is.
That's true. Because we're not going to tell anyone else.
No.
That's funny. Now I'm going to go back in your text and be like, oh, this is kind of like, hey, you're worth it. Just to let you know.
Hey, BioPhoenix, how's it going?
You sure that's the right name?
It is. I know that this one's very distinct. I didn't screw up Gavin and Gareth.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Gareth and OK Mate gave his Englishness away.
There is some I've been trying to I try to know like most people's first names. I can't remember them all, but there is some I've actually asked like, hey, what's your first name? Like, because their handle or their YouTube handle will be something different.
Yeah.
It's like,
yeah.
So what's on the horizon for you?
You see this right here? This HP ink cartridge. I bought it in an extra pack, and then my printer died. So if you know someone who needs HP 67 black, let me know. I will ship it straight to you. I'm reading the BioPhoenix background. I don't know what's on the horizon.
Yeah, let's not talk about Hewlett Packard.
Like books or life, which one, or both?
Either or.
Books. I don't know. I think I got to get through Demon Copperhead. I've been reading some different books, various books, but definitely more.
Yeah, Jeff's in Japan.
Yeah, I get that now.
Which with Gareth, it's got to be like early morning in the UK, right, Gareth?
Well, it's like middle of the night.
Or is it in the afternoon? Well, if Japan is in Monday morning,
I know, but which way does it go? Well, because you go an hour ahead as you keep going over.
The UK is across the Atlantic, so it's going forward in time.
Yeah.
So Gareth has to be either late or early morning. But no, but Japan's even further.
Yeah, but it's the where's the split though?
That's what I'm saying.
Like, around in 24.
Jeff right now is the person that is the forwardest in time.
Right.
Because he's in Japan. Okay. Gareth would be the second forwardest in time.
Okay. But so would it be like 1 a.m.?
It's got to be like 5 or 6 hours ahead of us, at least.
Yeah, we're going to find out because we got to. It's 1:33 a.m. So Gareth's just up late.
Yeah. England's 8 hours behind, so 1:30. Yeah, see,
nice.
So Jeff's got us,
Yeah. There you go. Thanks, Jeff. 8 hours behind. So it's like 9:30 there. Okay.
No, it's 9:30 in Japan.
Yeah, Japan.
Yeah.
That's almost okay. That's cool.
It's like that TikTok where the girl was like, why don't we just have the people that are ahead in time buy the right stocks before the it's like, really?
Yeah. What's it? I love that. There's also that quote. It's like, too
much maths.
What was it? It was like something about I forget what it was, but someone did like math, and they said like everyone would get $1 million, but the math was actually like everyone would get $10.
It's like when they say like Elon Musk has like $280 billion and there's 8 billion people in the world. Just give everyone $1 billion and he's still got 270 billion left.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's exactly. It's the same formula. It's the exact same formula. Oh my gosh. No, I guess the horizon is I just continue reading stuff. I mean, I now.
Is there anything you want to read?
Yeah. Yes and no. So now what I read is now I just choose what I want when I want. So the cool thing about this is like I don't have to find yeah, same here. Half a mil would be fine. But I don't have to have like justifications or reasons to read books now. So like I don't have to find books with matching titles for title match. I don't have to find a book that's going to be good for killer thrillers and thriller killers. I don't have to.
Jeff, this is the dumpster fire.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure this is our third one.
Are you sure?
I'm pretty sure.
So the dumpster fire was the
because the very first one was.
One of us is supposed to have our doctorate. I mean, this shouldn't be a dumpster fire.
I'm stuck on the formula about the $1 billion here. Using that. I could have sworn the first one was pre-recorded. The second one was live on your channel.
Then it was live on yours.
Not the dumpster fire. The only live I've ever done is with you and everyone for Rising Sun.
Are you sure?
Yeah. You're going to have to change the title. If you can.
I'm committed. I'm not going to change it.
Go your dumpster, whatever one is on your channel is the last one we've done.
Guaranteed. Dumpster Fires 3 was the Reacher Rewind.
That's what it was. Okay.
See?
Okay, you're right. But that wasn't live on my channel, though.
Folks, if you're still tuned in here, these doctors, you really have to stay on them.
Doctors. Oh my gosh. I've forgotten about the Reacher one. That was a good one. That was
yes. We got to sit there and talk about the Reacher season. It was great.
What was the first thing we ever talked about? One of the Reacher books?
No. It was.
It wasn't 620 Man. That was one of them, I know, but wasn't the second 620 Man book was one we talked about.
Yeah, because the only one I have 3 and 4. You have 1 and 2.
You have 3 and 4?
Yeah, you must have 1 and 2. Because the only lives that I have my live of the 4-part series on Lonesome Dove. I had an impromptu thank you for 800 subscribers. I did my 1 year roast.
Yeah.
And I have my frenemy read with Jay, and then I have 3 and 4 of books and dumpster fires. So that's it. You have to have 1 and 2.
I think I have 1, and I think you miscounted 2 as 3. I'm just kidding. I don't know. I'll have to go verify.
You'll have to reactivate your channel, start posting again, and then let us.
I might. Maybe that's what's going to be. Okay, I'm back because I got to figure out this dumpster fire thing.
Yeah.
Oh man. But yeah, so I stopped. Yeah, I stopped reading books based on what could be good content, and I started reading just whatever I want. So I have a few nonfiction. I have an indie book over there. I'm looking at my stack right now because it's just right by. And then I have a whole bunch of, just nonfiction books. I've done a lot more nonfiction lately. I've read a lot of books that have kind of just been in the way, that have kind of been like, I can't get past these until I get past them, because if I don't, then I'll just kind of want to read those anyway. And then some other ones are like people just recommend them or give them to me or whatever. And I'm like, yeah, I'll read it next.
I'm at this weird place, and I kind of talked a little bit about it in my recent Let Me Know about the BookTube effect. And it was around the kind of hesitancy around decision making.
book reading decision, like book choice
yeah,
decision making. Okay.
Yeah. Like I have a ton of series that I'm trying to like read through, and you're in reading events, which have been great and I've enjoyed them. But you have this decision fatigue because you're like, what am I going to read next? So, like, I'm in the process right now of deciding, what's going to be my next reshuffle TBR, after I get done with Indie Author August. And so I've got some possibilities on the list, but it's like, as I look around, there's so much I want to read, like,
yeah,
I can't have 50 books on my TBR.
Yeah.
Like, and so it becomes like, okay, I'm enjoying all these just various series and authors and genres that I've branched out into. It's like, I want to get back to some of those. I've been missing some of those characters or authors.
Yeah.
And it's like, I almost feel like I'm overwhelmed in that regard. Like I need to narrow it down. And so it kind of dovetails into the whole kind of discussion of, should the channel be so broad? Should the channel get a more myopic focus on a certain genre or certain list of authors? Or I'm just thinking out loud, those kind of things.
Yeah, that's a good point, because I thought too, because I started my channel off doing primarily indie author stuff. I remember really focusing on indie authors. I did a few indie author interviews and things like that. And I started to branch away from that. And I think that's when I started to kind of like ask, where's this going? But yeah, what you're about to put up is true.
Yeah. I mean, there's just not.
I now just have a stack that I put, and if it's in the stack, like that's my order of books I'm reading. And so when the stack gets lower, I'll put some more under it. But here, I'll grab my stack. Actually, I'll tell you exactly what I'm reading. It's not that big. Okay, so I have Demon Copperhead by Barbara Kingsolver.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like that far through it, so like a third. Then I have it's a true crime, The Murder of Grace Mullane. So this is a very thin,
like a novel, like a novelette or a novella.
No, I think it's just yeah, you can call it that, but it's true crime though. It's nonfiction, so you don't call it a novella or novelette or anything like that. It's just a short true crime book, but I think it's self-published. So I have that one.
Mm-hmm.
And then I don't know if this is self-published or not. Yeah, this one's self-published too, but it's called The Midnight Saint. So it's basically a person who's given only a few days to live. But I bought this from the bookstore because, check this out.
The sign.
Yeah. Pretty cool. So that one's on there. And then Before the Shadows, I forgot who recommended this to me. I think Zach may have recommended this to me, or Brian, one of the two. So I want to read that one. This one, because I'm tired of it, I want to get rid of it. And so before I get rid of it, I want to read it. It's called The Earthquake Bird. So evidently it was made into a Netflix film.
Nice.
Don't know anything about it. Not too big.
Never heard of it.
Yeah, just like this person wakes up and is in an interrogation room, and her friends are dead or something. And then the last one is Reasonable by Katie Carlisle. And this is one when I was on X.
Hey, Ian.
Huh?
I said, hey, Ian.
Oh. All is well, at least on my side. But this one was a book that there was an indie author who she just would, always publicize her stuff and kind of plug her stuff all the time. And she wore me down. I was like, okay, I'll get the book. She wouldn't talking to me. She was just posting on X. But I was just like, I saw it so much. I thought, okay, I'll make it a try. So it's at the bottom on the list, but I'm gonna read it. It turned into a series. She's written more in the series now. So,
nice.
So yeah, like they're not books that you probably would have ever guessed. Like
no.
Not authors or series or anything that I've read that I've read. These are just ones that I kind of picked up, and I have these that are all small. So I'm just kind of getting through those, and that's what I do. I just stack them next to my chair where I read, and then as I finish one, I go to the next one. And when it gets low enough, then I'll add some more to it.
You don't stare at your shelves and be like, oh my gosh, what do I do next?
Yeah, I totally do that.
Still. I do.
Yeah, that's because I do that whenever I'm about to add to the pile. So I'll have days where I do that, and I'll be like, okay, I can't decide today. And then sometimes I'll go in and I'll be like, okay, I'm gonna throw this one in there, just like that. And so it's more.
Well, I have a list of goals. I have a list of series I'm trying to get through, and so those are like when I go to do a TBR and I reshuffle it. That's like my first thing, and I go to it and I'm like, okay, what are my goals? What's up, book buds? And then it's like, okay, well, obviously there's going to be series that I need to make progress on. And so those are like the first two priorities. And then it's a matter of, okay, is there any reading events going on? Is there any books that I've been interested in or had my eye on? And and before you know it, it's like 20 books. And it's like, oh my gosh. And then you have to whittle it down. That's the hardest part.
Yeah.
Because you feel like, okay, well, I want to read another 87th Precinct book, but I really enjoyed the Mac Bolan book I just read. Like, I'd like to read another one. And it's like, I always feel like my mood read is like my last priority.
Yeah.
And that can create a problem if you're not careful.
Yeah.
Because then you feel like you're reading not to your own kind of agenda. You're reading to,
to what you think you should or what you think other people want you to do next or talk about.
Right.
Yeah. It's like you're not reading for personal desire.
Right.
You're reading like kind of what's relevant or what's what's expected or what am I known for, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, I deal with none of that now.
Hey, you know what? Here's the thing, Logan. You still don't like Joe Abercrombie, so
That's true. That's true. I don't think he's going to make it on my TBR. By the way, why do you call it a reshuffle?
Here's why. Because, and I always talk about this probably ad nauseum for most people, is that most people on BookTube, their TBRs are monthly. I always reshuffle mine because it can be reshuffled in the middle of the month. I don't care if my TBR list takes 8 weeks or 6 weeks or 5 weeks. Yeah. It did. And see, that's been another kind of change with the reading events is the reading events I talked about this a little bit in the Let Me Know, is that it puts you in like a month. Like Indie Author August is August. So my list of books for that reading event that I created is August. So that is the time constraint. Mm-hmm. Whereas most of the time when I'm doing my own TBRs for the sake of just enjoyment, I'll reshuffle them after I get done with the books, whether it takes me 3 weeks or 2 months.
Yeah.
So I always call it a reshuffle. I don't really call it like I don't always have a TBR for every single calendar month.
That makes sense. I mean, I didn't know if that was like just your branding of the TBR video, which is
reshuffle. No, I felt like it gave me more flexibility. Yeah. Because sometimes like when we supplement Audible with physical books too, like you can get through a list quicker. And so I don't want to be like, okay, here's my January TBR and like I'm done like in the middle of January, and it's like I need to reshuffle that. Like I need to add stuff to it. And so yeah. It was just kind of my own play on words, I guess. I really related to the BookTube fatigue video. It even relates to YouTube comic book community. They're constantly talking about purchasing and consuming, sometimes even faster than I can read. Yeah, I can imagine so.
And I almost want to plug the Coffee and a Comic series, but I can't.
Yeah, you could, but yeah.
Yeah, no, you're right. The comics are, man, that's a trap because they're just inexpensive enough to where you can frequently buy them. Well, I guess it depends on which ones you're buying. Sure, I guess there's definitely like collectibles that'd be more expensive, but they're also like they accumulate quick, because you could definitely buy. I got to get a couple, and you walk out with like, you bought one book for $15, but I got 3 comics. And so then you buy like 20, 30, 40 that month. And you're like, man, I'm spending hundreds of dollars on comics.
Yeah.
That's not sustainable.
It's a double-edged sword too with book hauls. When you get a deal and you find all these great books and you're interested in them, guess what? Then you're like, oh, I got to get to those.
Yeah.
I mean, again, it's never enough time.
Well, and two, you're with the book hauls.
I was reading Elric.
What's Elric?
It's Michael Moorcock, and yeah, it's not Joe Abercrombie, Logan. So you're fine.
But Pizza Rat, that's the problem. Is like they're super popular videos, so then people want to put them out, but you have to buy books to put them out. And so that then it's like you buy 100 books, and you're like, whoops, I got parentheses around my financial figures.
So Secret Fire Books is Tim T.H. Brandt, who is the book that I'm currently reading for Indie Author August. Jeff is talking about Sand and Steel, which is 5 short stories that Tim created, kind of a short story collection, and I did a Saturday Shorts on it a while back. Fantastic stories. So, yeah, really good ones. But yeah, Indie Author August plug there.
No, hey, Secret Fire is excited about Jeff being halfway through Sand and Steel.
Yeah. So, closing thoughts on Toxin?
Don't let Toxin define your view of Robin Cook. But it is a pretty good one. It is a pretty good example of a Robin Cook book. I mean, he does write some stuff that's pretty out there. Definitely, he writes. I think some of his really good, or some of his bread and butter books, or anytime he writes from the perspective of a doctor or a med student, especially the med student books, I tend to like a little bit more. So Toxin's more from the doctor standpoint, but you're usually going to be from some sort of, physician or physician student. So
The Sunken Door is the outlaw Levi Wallace's book. It's on my list for this month too.
How many books are you doing this month?
So I did Eric Wagg's book, Nicole Pierman's book. I'm going to be doing Tim's book. I did Thomas McNulty's book. Did 2 Jack Martin books. I got to do Nikki Mulatto's book. And I got to do Levi's book. And I did short stories every Saturday.
And you have the Philip Crawford, Sam Buckland series book that I sent you. Got it. 10.
I did. And I originally was going to put that on the list, and then I took it off.
I will get to it.
I will get to it.
Probably.
I actually had a couple, and I have book mail video come out this week because I had a couple of indie authors send me books.
How big is your channel getting now? Dang.
I was actually shocked too, but they're actually they sound very interesting.
Really?
Yeah, I'm actually pretty excited. So
that's pretty cool. They how many subscribers do you have now?
1,100 and some.
Nice. I don't know if it unsubscribed me whenever I put my channel down.
Probably. Thanks.
Maybe, David. Maybe. No. Not a lot of hope, but maybe.
Thank you, David. Come on, Logan. Everyone's doing it.
Yeah. Well, like I said, if I can get so right now my days where I create videos, it's like right now it's full on soccer season, and I'm coaching my 10U soccer team.
Good for you.
And so that's all my Saturdays. Sundays are getting everything organized and stuff, get ready for the week and stuff like that. My weekdays now, I got a little bit longer commute and more work. So I just don't have that time yet. So if it comes back, I got to wait till I have more time and can, again, do the quality stuff that I really want to do. And I think then it might be back. But yeah, it's in the immediate future, definitely not. Soccer season is definitely a lot. It's fun, but it's a lot.
Yeah. Jeff, you've got some cool stuff lined up because I Really like Sword and 70s. Yeah.
Twofer.
Yeah. The TBR has been stacked.
You got 9 this month. That's 2 a week.
Yeah.
Plus 2 plus a week.
Mm-hmm. So my thoughts, Toxin.
Yeah.
I think Cook is a good author. I think he is. Toxin was up and down. It's kind of mid. It had some really great moments.
Mm-hmm.
It had some far-fetched moments.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I think in premise, it's a pretty good concept for a read. It's entertaining.
Yeah.
I thought pacing was decent.
Yeah, no, for sure. There's definitely
no slog.
No slog at all. Yeah.
Yeah.
What have you've read Cook before?
Yes.
Which other ones have you read? Do you remember?
It was a virus. It was a virus one, I thought.
Okay.
Yeah.
So are you going to read more? You think?
I think so.
I really think try Intervention, if that's if you can get a hold of that one somewhere.
Okay.
Cook's hard to find in local bookstores unless you can go to like a bookstore that has like nothing but 80s and 90s thriller books. Then you're for sure going to find Cook there, but otherwise it's hard to find them. But yeah, definitely if you get a chance to get an Intervention, I'd like to hear your thoughts on that just because it's interesting. It's 4 different perspectives that weave together, and the ending is very okay, not bad, not great, just one of those like, so you went there, pretty cool.
Yeah, Pango is interesting for buying books.
That's where people can sell their own books. They put their own books up for sale.
Yeah.
I always thought like all my books are worth $1 and shipping is way more than that. And so I just thought it's never really worth it. Maybe if you have nice new books that you read once, don't break the spine, and they're like, and you're selling it when it's still just come out, like you read it in the first couple weeks or something, or they're like really big special editions, I think it'd be good for,
or first editions, or having
collectible books. Like I couldn't resell this for anything,
Sci-fi, fantasy originals, they'll sell for a lot of money.
But you don't find deals on Pango. You can't get the cut corner books, the 5-cent books, the 4 for $1.
Not the books that you're used to.
I still can't believe it. Of all your Louis L'Amour books, you're like, these 2 aren't in very good shape. I'll probably get to replace those. Those are the only 2 books I gave you.
I was wondering if you were going to catch that.
Oh, I 100% caught that.
You were like,
got like a sore thumb.
You were like, really?
Oh, it hurt me, Kevin. It hurt.
I'll have to make it up to you somehow.
Send it back then, Kevin. No. No. You have to make it up. Come on, that's perfectly fine. I can take more than that. What's you asked me a question that you never answered. Final thoughts. What's on the horizon? I already got that. I don't know. Whatever.
Well, that is it. Thank you, everyone, for joining. I really appreciate it. You actually had a really good turnout.
Pretty good.
Yeah,
If you can, go pick up Toxin and read it. Give Robin Cook a chance. If you want Robin Cook's best, I don't know his best, but not Bellevue. Don't get Bellevue to introduce yourself to Robin Cook. That's his newest book. Toxin's okay. Intervention, if you're fine with kind of some weird stuff. And then, I don't know, the pandemic book that you read was pretty good.
Yes.
Yeah. Don't start out with Viral either. Don't read Viral. That's not one to start out with. But Cell's good. Nano's good. Pandemic's probably good. Brian was on here, said Coma's good. All that. So.
Thanks, Jeff. Thanks, Lou. Tim. BioPhoenix. Jeff.
Don't end up like us.
Gareth, not Gavin.
Yeah.
I appreciate everyone.
Thanks for having me on. Appreciate it.
I appreciate
it. Nice to be back for a little bit.
Thanks, guys. Talk to you later.
Time.